My label? Broke app guy. I ship bug fixes at 2 a.m., 11 sweatshirts, show up with coupons and cables. That's the family joke. I laugh along because, whatever, I still show up. My parents are sweet and stubborn. Dad thinks every phone call is the bank. Mom keeps mail in a cookie tin and swears she paid that bill already. Lately, I'm finding late fees, weird mortgage offers, and congratulations postcards that aren't about winning anything except debt. They won't say they're scared, but you can feel it. The house that raised us is paid off, worth real money now. So it's a target, and fear makes people sign dumb stuff. I don't have cash for a fancy system, so I bring parts. A custom hub I built, a couple mic arrays, some cams that look like light bulbs, NFC tags on the doors, and a simple brain to stitch it all together. Nothing wild, but under the hood, audit logs that timestamp everything, tamper flags that scream if a setting moves, and off-site backups that don't care if someone yanks a plug. That's my gift. Cheap, boring, and impossible to argue with. Before I plug in anything, we talk. At the table. No tech words. I say, here's the deal. It records. It saves. It's for your safety. If you don't want that, I won't install it. We set a safe word, apricot, if they ever feel watched and want me to kill it. We decide how long video stays, how audio triggers work. Then I slide over a one-page house policy, our smart home to toss, plain English, security and maintenance recording, device logs retained, accessed by me as admin. They read it, ask if it's normal. I say, pretty normal, just honest. They sign. I add a guest notice on the Wi-Fi splash, monitored network. By joining, you consent to device and traffic logging. Not sneaky. Posted. Anyone entering this house is a guest. Lower privacy expectation. That little policy is a seatbelt I hope we never need. And for a minute, it helps. The porch cam catches the Amazon guy. The stove timer pings my phone when Dad forgets it. And Mom loves that the living room lights turn on when she walks in. I stop worrying every time my phone buzzes. Then Nate moves in for a bit, and his wife Tiffany brings a leather binder stamped estate planner. Big gold letters. Like a trophy. They say it's just being responsible. Probate is a nightmare, Nate tells Mom, leaning on the word like he invented it. Tiffany smiles with those calm therapist eyes and says things like liquidity events and titling concerns. Dad nods because nobody wants to look dumb. And let's be real, Nate's voice still carries the house. Me? I ask who put the plan together. Tiffany says a contact, won't give a name. Red flag. But I keep my mouth shut because pushing now turns me into the jealous brother. And once you're that guy, nobody hears you. That night, the system pings me at midnight. Tiny glitch in the printer scanner job queue. Not a paper jam, more like a ghost print from an unknown device. I remote in, and the log looks off. New MAC address, no pairing history. Job title with the kind of name you only use at 2 a.m. when you think you're almost done. I think, okay, maybe Tiffany is scanning something normal, but the title pattern worms into my head. There's a difference between deed copy and deed final V2. One sounds like notes, the other sounds like a finish line. I go over the next morning under the router check routine, fix a bulb, laugh with Dad about his team losing, and give Mom a hug that lingers. She leans in and whispers, "Don't say anything, but Tiffany found a notary who can come today so we won't have to leave the house." My stomach just drops. Mobile notary can be legit, sure. Or it can be, sign now, ask questions later. I tell Mom, no rush, okay? We can always reschedule. She nods, then says, I just want it done. Your brother says this is how smart families do it. And right there, I feel the old script grab my throat. Nate knows best. I'm the tech helper. I walk to the kitchen for water, smile like an idiot, and quietly add a room mic behind the spice rack, because if this turns into pressure, I need context. And because we had the talk, the 2S, the safe word, I'm not crossing their line. I'm keeping the one we drew. Back at my place, I look closer at last night's printer log. The job came from a device with no lease history, and the page count is off by 2. Someone printed more than they kept. Drafts? Signature practice? I update the printer driver and bake in a microscopic steganographic watermark on every page. Property of, plus a hash. Invisible to eyes, loud to a forensic lens. If anything leaves this house, it'll shout where it was born. And then I wait. The kettle whistles at my parents' place. The clock ticks. Nate laughs about brunch, and my phone lights up with a new scan job at 2:03 a.m. Different title, same vibe. I don't call. I don't yell. I let the system remember. Because this time, the house is on my side. Building the trap, quiet security layers. So I go quiet. No big hero moves. Just small screws turned a quarter each. First thing, the stack. I swap my little hub for a beefier board I built at my place. It looks like a router, but it's got ears. 2 mic arrays in the kitchen and hall, tuned for wake words only. So it's not just recording life, it's waiting for specific phrases. I train a tiny local model to wake on notary, deed, sign, and yeah, forge. Nothing leaves the house unless that trigger trips. When it does, the clip gets sealed, hashed, and pushed to my offsite box. Belt, suspenders, duct tape, cams? I keep them boring. A doorbell, a porch floodlight, and a bulb cam in the dining room that just checks motion. I set the LEDs to blink like they're buffering. Nobody cares about a lazy light. What they don't see is the mirror feed in the attic relay. So if someone pulls one cam, I still have eyes. Then I tag the paper world. I drop NFC stickers under the drawer where mom keeps important stuff. When that drawer opens, the hub notes it. Time, duration, who was home. I also add a cheap page counter in the printer tray. If a page gets pulled and not printed, I want to know. People practice signatures. Paper tells on you. For forensics, I harden the logs. Every scan or print job gets a checksum. I add a tiny script that records typing cadence on the shared desktop. Just rhythm, not content. It builds a fingerprint. Nate pecks like a woodpecker. Tiffany glides. If a document claims to be from mom's hand, I want to see whose fingers danced around it. Network side, I split things. Family devices on a strict allow list. Guests on a VLAN that is a polite trap. Same internet, separate street. The guest Wi-Fi splash I added, I tune it up. Monitored network. By joining, you consent to device and traffic logging for security. Big blue button, I agree. They tap. I log fingerprint data. OS, browser, language, fonts. Not creepy, just enough to know who's who when the same unknown pops up later. I set a DNS sinkhole for sketchy domains. If someone tries to hit a PDF crack site or a notary template mill, the request lands in my bucket. I'm not blocking it. I'm watching the ripples. And because I'm not a complete monster, I whitelist mom's recipes and dad's baseball scores, so nothing feels off. Paper trail, I go old school and nerd at the same time. I pull certified copies of the original deed, scan them myself, hash those scans, and post the hash string to a little note in my cold wallet. That's a time-stamped receipt nobody can casually fake. Later, if someone waves a new deed, I can say, cool, let's match the math. Social cover is the easiest part. I'm the bulb guy, the router check guy, the can you believe the poor chance guy. I swap a light switch, I bring coffee, I pet the dog, I don't look at the binder. Meanwhile, I'm mapping routines. When Tiffany takes calls, when Nate does his late night work, when mom sits and hums to the clock, I want to know the quiet pockets so I can hear the noise when it shifts. A day later, the guest network coughs up something hot. A device named Tiff Air hits the splash, taps I agree, then tries to fetch a font pack from a PDF editor with a known cracked build signature. My sinkhole logs the request, the version string, the time zone on her box. East Coast. We're West. So either she never fixed her clock, or she typed this on a trip and is bringing it in. Either way, the edit trail smells like her laptop. Because of that, I add one more lure. I drop a folder on the shared desktop named Lawyer Contact readme.txt. Inside is a short note with a tracking pixel that phones home when opened, pulling location data if they're out. It's a Honeytoken. If someone's fishing for a friendly notary, I want to see where the line goes. I also tweak the printer again. The Stigo watermark is already there, but now each page carries a per-page ID tied to time, device MAC, and a rolling hash. If they file anything, and I get a copy, I can point to a dot pattern and say, page 2 came off my parents' printer at 2:03 a.m. from an unregistered device. Not a vibe, a fact. At night, I sit on my couch, laptop warm, the house feed in a small window, and I listen to nothing. That's the point. I want them comfortable. If I confront them too soon, they go analog. Pins at a coffee shop, no devices, no trail. If I wait, they'll lean on the convenience. Printer here, scanner here, notary friend on speed dial. People love easy. Easy is evidence. Know how this sounds. Cold, calculated. But this is my parents' roof. $2 million on paper is a magnet for dumb choices and greedy plans. So I build guardrails, soft ones, and I smile while I screw them in. Then, late afternoon, I'm at the table, showing Dad how to cast the game from his phone, and Tiffany walks by with the binder. I catch a tab that reads, Recorder, County. My stomach flips, but I keep my voice light. Hey Tiff, need the printer? She smiles too wide. Maybe later. Later comes fast. My phone pings. Guest Wi-Fi, Tiff Air opened, lawyer contact, read me, TXT. Honeytoken lights up with a GPS call from a strip mall across town. Suite B, payday notary mill. The map dot sits. Doesn't move. And now the trap isn't theory. It's working. The first slip. Metadata never lies. Morning hits, and I'm staring at the scan queue like it owes me money. There it is. Last night's 2:03 a.m. special. Job name. Deed. Final. V2. PDF. Come on. That's not even subtle. Source device shows as unknown. But the network lease lines up with Tiff Air hopping on guest Wi-Fi. Time zone still East Coast. We're in Pacific. That's our first fingerprint. Not proof yet, but fingerprints don't wash off easy. So I pull the file from the scanner cache. People forget these things keep copies. I open it cold, no edits, just a peek at the guts. The PDF producer string flashes a version of a popular editor I know well. Trial watermark removed, but the metadata still leaks the build ID of a cracked release. It's like wearing a mask and forgetting your tattoos showing. Then the XIF and XMP tags line up. Author says Tiffany MacBook Pro, and the device field calls itself Tiff Air. Same nickname she used on guest. Time zone, EST. The create date? 20 minutes before the scan. Meaning, it wasn't scanned from paper they got somewhere else. It was born in her laptop, then scanned to make it feel real. I scroll pages. Page 1 has the parcel number. Page 2 has updated tenancy language I've never seen in my parents' stuff. Page 3, wait, the printer log said 5 pages printed. This file is 3. Where are pages 4 and 5? Practice SIGs? Bonus notary sheet? The log shows a mismatch. Printed 5, kept 3. That's not a typo. That's someone curating. I act normal. I text mom a dumb meme of a cat staring at a pancake. Then I remote update the printer one more time. The steganographic watermarks already embedded across every page, but I push the per page ID tighter. Each sheet gets a dot pattern tied to timestamp, MAC, and a rolling hash. Think micro QR code nobody can see. If any sheet gets filed at the county, I can mirror the pattern and say, yeah, that came off this exact printer at this exact minute from that exact device. Tiffany can scrub stamps all day. She can't scrub physics. Coffee at their place. I keep it light. Nate's on the phone near the fridge doing his fake CEO voice. Tiffany flips the binder open on the island. I grab a mug and nod like a friendly ghost. She feeds a stack into the scanner. Late morning this time. I watch the panel reflect in the metal toaster and see scan to PDF hit twice. Little details, right? Behind her, the clock ticks. Our chain of custody soundtrack. Back at my laptop, new scan hits cache. File name now says draft DD Duncore copy 2.pdf. She's cautious enough to put draft, bold enough to keep digging. I check the XMP again. Same author, same time zone. But here's the fun part. The PDF producer changed, an online merge tool blipped in the chain. So now we have creation on her laptop, a detour through a known web tool, and a final scan from my parents' device. That's a 3-step breadcrumb nobody takes for legit filings. Printer log sing 2. Job title, deed, final, v2.pdf. 5 pages at 2:03 a.m. from unknown Mac. Today's draft Esker deed uncopy 2s shows 3 pages from guest. Page counter says 7. Sheets move total. 2 pages don't land in the final. Where'd those go? I picture Tiffany at the table, practicing mom's hand. She's good at mimicking tone. Maybe she thinks hands work the same way. I keep my face chill. Dad walks in and asks if the router still needs to breathe, which is his word for reboot. I grin. All good. Just stretching. Tiffany glances at me, then at the printer, like she felt a breeze. She doesn't say a word. That's fine. My job is to collect, not confess. At noon, Mom whispers about a notary later today again, but different name. Not the house call, a storefront. I shrug and say, cool, bring IDs, right? Tiffany chirps, already handled. Her smile twitches a millimeter. It's small, but that's how tells look in real life. Just a pixel off. Afternoon, I pull the micro watermark test. I print a clean page with my parents' names and a dummy hash, take a macro photo, and check the dot matrix. It resolves. Perfect. I add the hash to my cold wallet note with a timestamp. It's overkill, but overkill is how you win boring battles like this. If a clerk asks me why I'm so sure, I don't say vibes. I point to dots and math. And here's the part that locks the loop. The guest Wi-Fi session from last night shows Tiff Air hitting a PDF editor's font repository with that cracked build signature at 1:41 a.m. Then scan at 2:03. That's 22 minutes to finish the doc, clean the watermark, and feed it through the parent's machine to dress it up. The cadence fits. People do crimes on the clock of their own anxiety, but I still need them to push. Metadata is a knife. It cuts best when someone pulls against it. So I keep quiet. I make a joke about the dog stealing socks. I ask Dad if he wants the game saved as a shortcut. Tiffany slices the word probate into the air one more time, steady, like she's training herself to sound official. Nate stays in motion, calls, texts, little puffs of smoke. Then my Honeytoken pings again. Lawyer, contact, readme.txt opens, this time at a different location. GPS says they're parked outside a strip mall on Jefferson Suite B, Payday Notary Mill. Same as before. The map dot sits steady, battery level low. I can see her phone model in the callback. Same OS fingerprint from guest. I don't smile, but inside, something clicks. I've got the author tag. I've got the cracked editor trail. I've got the printer log mismatch and the dot pattern watermark tying pages to this house. I've got the honeypot proving where they're headed. And I've got the kitchen mic ready for one clean line. So now the question isn't, did they try? It's, will they say it out loud? Because if they do, this doesn't just look bad. It sounds like intent. And once intent is on tape, the rest is math. Estate pressure campaign, emotional warfare. So, lunch bleeds into strategy hour. Nate does this thing where he leans on the counter like a coach and drops fear like sprinkles. Probate is a nightmare, he says. Slow, like Mom's hearing is the problem, not his pitch. If you don't retitle, the state picks at the carcass. Taxes, fees, delays, you'll be stuck for months. He taps the binder. Every tap is a countdown. Tiffany slides in with fake calm. This is just modernization, she says, pen pointed at a tab that says Toad, transfer on death. No drama. We move title now. Avoid the tax hit later. Maintain continuity. You keep living here. No changes. Just protection. She sprinkles in that lawyer-adjacent word soup. Beneficiaries, instruments, vesting. It's not illegal to sound smart. It's just a spell. Mom nods small. I don't want trouble when we're gone, she says, and that hits like a gut punch. Because that's the lever. Fear of being a burden. They pry that open, and everything gets loose. Nate smiles like a pastor. Exactly. We do it now, while you're sharp. Later, God forbid you forget a date and the court says no. This is love. This is responsible. He looks at me like I'm the kid who never filled a form, right? I rinse a plate slow, pretending I'm not clocking cadence. Tiffany's voice has this push-pull rhythm, gentle, then yank. And the deadline matters, she adds. Rates will change next quarter, filing windows close. If we miss this, you're exposed. Deadline out of nowhere. Classic. Dad tries a joke. Do we gotta sell the dog too? He chuckles, but his eyes aren't laughing. He hates offices. He hates paperwork. He'll sign anything to keep the peace. I bite back the monologue. Instead, I grab the router excuse like a lifeline. Hey, I need to check the hallway node. It's dropping packets. Normal, boring. I pop the spice rack, thumb the mic, say the wake phrase under my breath, stove safe, which flips the listener into armed mode. It's set to grab the next 60 seconds clean if it hears notary, sign, deed, or forge. The LED behind the recipe cards gives me a soft blink. Good. Back at the table, I tee up a dumb question. So, what's the plan? A mobile notary here? Or are we going somewhere? I sound curious, not scared. That's important. If they smell fight, they go analog. If they smell ease, they keep using my toys. Tiffany nods at the binder. Here, she says. Safer. Fewer eyes. Fewer eyes. Cool. She taps a sticky note with the last name written too neat. We'll keep it tight. Nate tightens the screws. Look, Mom, remember the DMV mix-up last year? 2 trips, lost form? This is like that, but bigger. If you don't sign while you're clear, a judge can appoint a stranger to decide. You want that? He tilts his head, voice dropping. It's a threat dressed like a hug. Mom's mouth trembles. I don't want strangers, she whispers. I want my boys. Knife. Twist. She looks at me like I'm the good son and the stray cat at the same time. I swallow the heat. We can slow down, I say. Easy. Bring in your regular lawyer, right? The lady who did the trust update. Tiffany smiles with teeth. She's old school, she says. She doesn't understand new instruments. New instruments, I say, nodding like I buy it. Inside, I'm counting beats, kettle whistles, clock ticks, dog collar jingles, ambient markers locked. Then Tiffany pushes the pace. We'll have the notary stamp here today, she says. Simple. You sign, we file first thing. She flicks a glance at Nate. He gives a tiny nod. They think the window's open. I watch Mom's eyes go soft, confused. She reached for a pen out of habit. Her hand shakes just a little. Tiffany slides a page forward. Initial here to acknowledge receipt, she murmurs. Harmless paper. A warm-up. Get the motion in the wrist so the real thing feels normal. That's my line. I rub my neck, act sheepish. Hey, before anything, tech check. The printer's been dropping jobs at night. I should update the driver so it doesn't kill a scan. I move toward the hallway like I'm chasing Wi-Fi. I'm not. I'm buying 60 seconds. The mic's armed. I need them to say it without me in the scene, or it smells coached. I step into the hall, out of sight, but not out of earshot. The LED blinks once. The kettle squeals. Voices drop. Nate, low. We forge first. File first. County's rubber stamp if we look clean. That line hits like a hammer. The mic wakes. A quiet chime ticks in my head because I wired the cue to my phone with a half-second buzz.